Well, hello neighbors, John your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome to my deck in this beautiful early fall afternoon. Today I want to talk about a Canadian whiskey. Actually I need to review a few open Canadian bottles, so it might be the next couple of videos. Today we're going to look at something from here in Walker. This is Pike Creek 10-year-old rum finish. All right. Thanks for staying with me through the break. As I said in the opener, I want to talk about some Canadian whiskey. And today we're going to talk about Pike Creek. Pike Creek is part of the Northern Border collection from here in Walker that's, I think, getting fairly popular, especially because once a year they put out a unique release of each of these four. And I think that also just generates a bit of excitement, even in the regular core range. So the regular range is Pike Creek, Lot 40 Rye, Goodham and Warts, 4 grain, and I guess just J.P. Weiser whiskey. About this bottle here, I think it presents quite nice. It's got the nice black tape. It's got this little bit of I don't know what that is, sisal wrap, and it's age stamped. Likely is colored. I don't know enough about what's in here. I will say I love it that it's 10 years, and then it tells you a bit about its finishing, and that they're going to finish it in rum barrels. When Pike Creek first came out, it was in port barrels, I believe, and I don't know how long they kept doing that. Really, a few years. I think it came out around 2012, and it was for a few years they finished it in port. And there was a story, and I wish I knew it. At one point, I thought I did. Something about export problems or whatever, but they changed to rum barrels and they upped the ABV. So this is released at 42%. I understand that it's a corn whiskey with a little bit of rye, but I don't know ratios at all. But as I said, it's part of that Northern Border collection, so it's got a little bit of interest, and it comes out with a pretty good value around here. Let's talk about the whiskey itself, and then I'm going to share my thoughts more on the expression. So let's see what we smell. I find the nose in Pike Creek very sweet, like honey. If there's some fruits, they're light. A sweet apricot, a pear. Yeah, a little bit of alcohol. But sweetness, like the level of sweetness right away, you start to think of a sugar sweetness, which is probably a nod to the rum finish. Just a hint of vanilla. Not much spice. Yeah, a little bit of toast in there. Yeah, mostly sweet, light fruits, a little bit of alcohol. See what it tastes like. Cheers. It's quite smooth in the palate, very coating. I would say it tastes, again, initially into that sweeter fruits, sweeter sugars. Then it starts to, the second sip or at the beginning of the finish, you get a little more caramel, a little toffee, a little brown sugar, some cooked things. Better give it another sip. Really quite enjoyable in the mouth, very easy to drink. The finish doesn't last particularly long and doesn't bring out that much oak. For 10 years, I'd expect just a little bit more oak into this. Well, there's a little bit of pepper there. Came really after the finish, but a little bit of rye spice, a little bit of, some just pepper, just some spiciness to it. But I would say right from the nose through this bottle, it's surprisingly influenced by what I'm taking is the influence of the rum barrel. It's a very sweet, sugary sweet, light fruit, overripe fruit sweetness that kind of carries through the whole thing. It's missing, for me, some darker fruit characteristics or a deeper wood. Thankfully, there is a little bit of spice in it, so it's interesting. But I really wanted to like this, and as I look at my previous ratings, I think I've liked it more in the past. But I gave this a fair shot to see if it would inspire me a little more. And to me, even though I really love what Don Livermore is doing and the Northern Border collection, this sits at 3 or almost under 3 stars, which is disappointing because it's such a great presentation and an age stamp. And I will say, for value in my part, like, I picked up this bottle for $25, not on sale. It's on the shelf at $25. I've seen it on the shelf at $45 in retailers that are way overpricing, but it's usually around that $32, $35 mark. So affordable for an age stamp whiskey, and I appreciate that, and I really like what they've tried to do. But for what I like in whiskey, it just has too much of that cane sugar sweetness, which I'm attributing to the rum, but maybe it's the way they selected their corn or whatnot, I don't know. But to me, it just is a little too thin and sweet, pleasant, but not enough other characters to make it really a tasty whiskey. Hey, thanks for coming out on the deck with me and listening a little bit about Canadian. I hope you get to try it if you haven't had it before, especially if you like sweet whiskeys. As I said, I hope to shoot a few Canadian bottles because I got a few open on the shelf, and I always like to share what I got going. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks.